Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts, Virtek and ChibiBree, are back from their latest adventures.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Golden Feather episode. Today we have Simurgh with episode 11, The More You Know. How are you, Simurgh?
I'm doing good. How about yourselves?
Pretty good, thank you.
Fantastic. It's been a great week.
Yeah, great week. Avengers came out. No spoilers.
Oh my god. That was so good. I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, it was amazing.
It's fantastic.
What is your favorite Avenger superhero?
Oh man, now you're asking me really tough questions. I have a really hard time when people are like, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite band?
Me too, to be honest.
I can't do that. Like I can't do that because I enjoyed such a wide variety, so it's really tough. But if I had, like, Spider-Man's always been a favorite, but if I had to go with talking about the movies, I don't know.
Thor. Ooh, Thor's a good
Captain
one.
America or
I like Captain America too.
Probably Captain America. He probably resembles a paladin the most. I mean, it's probably
That's fair.
To be honest.
Makes sense.
My favorite was one of those movies where he was like, "There's children around." He was being like the dad.
Oh,
yeah, I'd have to say,
I could say something else, but that would totally be spoilers. So you guys know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I'd have to say, like, Iron Man's my favorite. I mean, just because he's so snarky, but also, like, super smart.
Yeah, dude. I'm just like, wow, that level of genius that comes off from, like, the actors. It's just like, wow. I instantly feel, like, not intelligent being in the same room as you.
Yeah, Spider-Man's always been my favorite Marvel guy, though. So I hope they integrate him more into the Avengers stuff going forward.
Why is the Paladin Hammer going away soon?
No.
Oh. Well, I mean, so because I'm probably going to be canceling out my affiliate agreement on Twitch, actually.
Fair point.
Okay, well, let's chat about that a little bit. Why?
Well, I haven't really been happy with the way Twitch has been just ever since Amazon bought the platform rather. I haven't really been too happy with a lot of the changes. They're not as, I don't feel, at least from my perspective, they're as community oriented as they used to be. It used to be about the gamer, and I don't feel like it's like that anymore. I've been on the platform since 2012. So for me to go and step away from it, like, I'm probably still going to use it, but as far as using it for any monetary, any kind of financial gain whatsoever, I'm kind of cutting ties basically because they just prioritize the money so much higher than helping the community members with issues like botting or people that come in being toxic or then there's like the other side of things where it's like you get 50% of your sub and stuff like that. It's just it's all about
I'm always excited when I get like sub and I'm like, oh, sub, oh wait, that's $2.50.
Would have got more of that if it was just a cheer.
But instead of Twitch, what are you planning on using?
So I've been over on DLive, which is the streaming platform. It's quite different than others like Mixer or I guess Hitbox isn't really called Hitbox. It's like Smashcast now or something.
Aloha!
Everyone loves Aloha.
Thank you for the raid, love.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
All the Ashes love.
Yeah.
Oh, Aloha, that's so nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But DLive.
Oh, okay. So essentially they work off of a blockchain, which isn't quite the same as cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is generally always blockchain. Blockchain's not always cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
But if you kind of imagine bits on Twitch, right? How people can purchase them and they can gift them to you. The platform gets significant cut off of bits, right? Well, on DLive, it's Lino, and Lino is the blockchain currency. It can be earned through individuals who are watching. So a viewer can, hypothetically come on, watch streams, make revenue by watching. They can gift those out in the way similar to bits, or they can be purchased by people on the platform to give to bits.
Well, that's really cool.
Subscriptions are purchasable.
So it kind of like rewards your viewers for watching.
Yeah, you get rewards when you're on there. You get rewards for like interacting, like going through and just watching people, going through and actually interacting with their chat, and going through and posting your own content. You get rewards for all that stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
It's actually really great. I'm actually kind of really excited about the platform. And looking, by the way, viewers, to possibly change us over to that, because we get to keep 90% of everything, and the other 10% basically goes to rewarding viewers.
So that 9% technically is like off of Lino that's purchased, right? So whatever, like let's say a sub is it, which is by the way significantly lower to get a sub. Like I think it's what $2.99 if I'm not mistaken. Maybe
something in there,
something like that. Ace Knight and Check could probably tell you, but yeah, he was the first sub. But you know, it's purchased as Lino, right? Which again, you can earn or you can purchase Lino.
Okay.
But they don't take a cut of your sub. So it's as a consumer who's a viewer, it's less to purchase a sub, and the streamer gets all of it, but yet the streamer gets more than you would get on Twitch.
Why, thank you, Waylo.
Thank you, Waylo.
Yeah, Waylo is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And so the reason for going over there is it's a fairer platform. I think that unless you're someone like Dr. Disrespect or Shroud, or someone who's pulling in
who's
some
already
crazy
big,
viewership on Twitch,
yeah,
unless you're pulling in somewhere in the area of like 500 plus, I would say, viewers regularly. I feel like under that, or especially if you're like a 30, 40, 50, 80, even a low tier kind of partner streamer, I just feel like you're kind of doing a disservice to yourself as far as like financial gain goes.
Yeah. I mean, and then that would also help us as well, because any amount that we get, we put towards bettering the stream, getting better audio equipment, getting better ways of podcasting, like using Zoom, for example.
Splitting us back up into 2 dynamic mics instead of the 1 condenser, so we sound better in the same room, like 3 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about something else too. So there's 2 other things that I forgot to mention about it, and I feel like it's fair to kind of explain that for actually really give people a snapshot of DLive.
Okay.
So Lino is again your currency or the blockchain. So, you know, you can lock a certain amount of Lino points, right? Like I've got over 50,000 locked, right?
Oh, geez.
And each Lino point is worth 0.012 cents USD, right?
Okay.
So essentially, if you lock Lino, then based on the platform's performance, you get a daily Lino reward, right? So you could get 200 Lino, 300 Lino, 50 Lino, whatever it is, based on how much you have locked. And on top of that, if you're a creator and you're streaming, you get 7 days later from when you stream. Like today, let's say we stream this, right? 7 days from today, you get a payout called a content bonus, right?
Oh, that's cool.
The content bonus is based on, it's based on essentially, like, let's say you brought in, I don't know, whatever it is. Like you brought in revenue, right? If you brought in more revenue one day versus another, then you would get more than another of a cut of that. So you get some percentage of a content bonus just for streaming and for having some kind of revenue. Now, it could be really small sometimes, or it could be high depending on how much you had that day. So
okay, so if you guys out there are content creators, it sounds like DLive is preferable for people that are new and trying to start doing content creation, whereas in general I noticed on Twitch I get a couple of views because I'm smaller, not well known, so I'm at the very bottom of the list. And some of the more popular games, you know, everybody likes streaming something like Fortnite, but when you have like so many people streaming it, they're not gonna find you. You're all the way at the bottom.
Penetrate that market very easily now.
Oversaturated.
Yeah.
But,
all right. So
yeah. Well, one thing I had as a request anyway is if you want to go ahead and send me that your referral link, I'll go ahead and post that in our chat in case anybody wants to go over to DLive.
Yeah.
Because the DLive thing, you know what? There's a lot of people who are unhappy about how Twitch and YouTube are doing streaming, and I think the group name that they've all joined is called Anyone Who Streams. So there's a lot of people that are kind of upset about how they handle stuff, but the exciting thing about DLive is they're doing it differently, and they're a lot more supporting of the content creators.
Oh, sorry, Simurgh, can you just send that to one of us?
And I have it posted right there.
Okay.
And it's really nice, and it's kind of like the World of Warcraft idea. Like nobody leaves World of Warcraft because their friends aren't leaving World of Warcraft. So the more people that end up joining DLive and make it more of a viable platform for the everyday, like I want to see all my streamers in one place type of people, the easier it is for streamers and content producers and even viewers to get to a more supportive platform. That again, you get rewarded just for watching people stream.
Yeah.
So you can cheer and you can support your streamers by just watching them and giving them back the funds that you get from watching them.
Yeah, and my biggest complaint I have when I'm streaming is I don't have any money because I am so and so years old, and maybe I'm in high school, maybe I'm in college or whatever. Or like just not a whole lot of money, and I can't give you anything. I feel bad, and I'm like, I mean, your viewership helps me in this case, but like I completely relate, you know. But to bring it back to more of an Ashes of Creation thing, I believe you're gonna put your podcast and such on this DLive. So what are your podcasts about?
Yeah, so the last one was which, you know, I know you all were part of the round robin last week?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just so tired all the time.
No, it's all good. We're moving. We're in the middle of moving and stuff too. So
too many things. I just can't keep my brain together half the time. I don't remember. I need an assistant. So if anybody's willing to donate time, I can't give you much. I could give you some Lino. I could maybe send you, I don't know, something. If you're interested, hit me up, Simurgh, Simurgh, #0001 on Discord if you're interested.
Taking applications now.
I mean, my bar is real low. If you're helpful, it's gonna be. I mean, like
must refill mana. Must refill mana.
Yeah, dude. Especially if you got flask, that's great. But last week, along with Jalon, the DCN from the Ashes podcast, and then Ashes Pathfinders, which is my podcast. It's been rebranded quite some time ago, actually.
Ace Night.
But yeah, last week on Wednesday, I just got a DM on Discord that's fantastic. I don't know who that is, but I'll check it soon. Thank you. I really hope you're serious about that. But yeah, last Wednesday we actually showcased it for the first time on DLive. I think we brought in a pretty crazy number. We were front page. It was great because it was, you know, not just big for like the stream, but you know, it showed Ashes of Creation community DLive, and it showed the DLive community Ashes of Creation. Yeah. And so currently I'm streaming over there. We do it Monday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Is Daedalus, one of the other official content creators, and I we kind of are both kind of running that one at this time. And I know Chibi's actually been on it when it was, you know, called the Simcast previously.
I almost put that in our tweet today, by the way. I was like, Simcast? No, that's not the name of it. I
know, man. It takes a little while to change. It took me like a month or so to like stop using the language. But it's a community-based podcast, pretty much talking about, you know, everything from news to theory crafting to speculation, or just kind of game development as a whole.
That sounds cool.
I'd like to. I think I kind of consider it. I've been trying to watch my language lately. It's definitely a more adult-friendly podcast, maybe. But yeah, it's. You know, we just try to contribute to the overall cause, I think, for the Ashes of Creation community, and try to keep the momentum going when I don't. You know, sometimes it's not always there when it's kind of in a dry.
Yeah, momentum's a tricky thing, but yeah, the language thing, I get my automatic, like what I call like my mom voice, like the voice and how you talk when you're around your mother. I get the around my mom voice usually when I'm on stream, but every once in a while, just if something just like triggers in the back of my head and I'm like, what's F-bomb? But that's usually the rare occurrence for me, but still try and label the stream like adult content, just because you never know when it's going to just drop.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you're involved in aside from the podcast with the whole Ashes of Creation things? Anything you're working on the side?
Oh man, I work on a lot of other things. So I mean, you know, I run the Guild Virtue and the Ashes of Creation community. So there's that. We're always recruiting. We keep posts on the forums and Discord. I try to keep those up. I'm also a singer-songwriter, so I do that on the side. It's really on the far side right now, though, because of everything going on with this right now. And then, just overall, I mean, I pretty much stream full time, and I work kind of part time. So that's pretty much my main gig right now.
Singer-songwriter, what kind of music?
I've been in several bands actually, but pretty much like a kind of progressive rock feel. More so like acoustic stuff lately, but I've kind of been veering into more like electronic music. You know, not necessarily like EDM, but just more of like ambient kind of
Nice.
Something you could kind of blend with like a metal feel, I think.
Gotcha.
One day.
Zero
Good
says
bands
they
out
want to
there do
hear
stuff
you
like that,
sing.
so.
Yeah. No. Not this time.
You're not going to be the next Tiesto, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
it's either going to cost you or you're going to have to catch me when I'm
Ace.
having a little bit of alcoholic beverages, which is
knife party.
Knife party. Right? No, Ace, just no.
Just no.
Just no.
So for a good section of this, I wanted to go ahead and cover some Q&A things that were covered in the other podcast, including yours, and just kind of some things that we enjoyed from them or kind of wanted to know more about. Like, I find myself still baffled by the random side comment of children dungeon. I'm just still a little bit confused on where that even came from, but I'm amazed because it's totally random and you can't possibly script that.
Yeah. Kids' pets, is that what we're talking about?
Oh, man.
Yeah, the children like that, like
The kids' dungeon.
dungeon of
corrupted
children.
Oh, Steven, this gets so dark so quickly, sir.
I know, but it was so random, and I think that's why it's one of my favorite things that came out of the week. Like, not even to fluff our own feathers, but just the fact that it's literally the most entertaining thing that Steven talked about the entire week. Because it was just a random tangent of, oh, by the way, we're looking to do this thing.
Yeah, if you guys missed it, in our Simurgh, thank you. In our last podcast, we had Steven Sharif on, and we were discussing the whole Q&A thing, and that's episode 10. It's up on our YouTube if you're interested. But yeah, we were talking about, he was discussing the possibility of putting children in the game, especially with the marriage and stuff like that, and having them on as pets, so that you can set them to do stuff, and then just went down a very dark road where we ended up talking about like children of the corn, but it was like children of ashes and like a dungeon of like children after like a siege or something happened and just completely wiped out like the town.
And on our own little freehold, you could get like a cornfield to put on there, and at night when it gets dark, all the little eyes would be peering out, little red eyes would be peering out from it because of all the corrupted children.
Yeah, it was rather interesting. But one thing that I found really interesting, kind of in that same kind of like role-playing thing, was asked on your stream about planning any endgame role-play tool sets. And this was really interesting because, I mean, it is kind of inspired from Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, where there is that roleplay aspect of like, I'm going to go up and talk to him, or like, I roll a d20 to do such and such, you know? And I saw also a question there about the rolling dynamics, and there might be some, but the specific question was, are you planning on an in-game roleplay toolset? And the answer was, from a platform perspective, I love those types of features and they are important for immersive gameplay. I think it's great flavor for what MMORPGs are meant to be, as I think it enhances the general gameplay. From our perspective, the more features we can include, the better. I've enjoyed them in the past and would like to accomplish what we can. But right now we're focused on the foundation, if not for launch, maybe after launch. So I'm kind of interested in knowing what kind of roleplay tool sets are going to be in there. I know they had a little bit of it from PAX when they had like this thing where you had to like use your ability and look around and you found like the hidden footprints to go into a nearby area where something ran away.
Huh. Yeah, that's neat. Now, when that question was asked, did you have anything specific in mind as far as like were you just talking about like emotes and such like that, or other tool sets?
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, we took a lot of questions from first took them from my stream community, the Crusade. Then I took them from kind of the forums. I went to the forums. Thankfully, that was up, right? So we went there and tried to get as many questions. Just really tried to be like a voice for as many people in the community as possible. If they were questions that weren't asked, we'd kind of pull them. But this one in particular, I believe, came from Daedalus. I think someone within his own community, someone who's really into RP.
Yeah.
And so actually, I believe he asked this question to Steven, but for me, I actually do enjoy the role play. I've always liked, the dances, the the / emote sort of system has always been really fun.
Right.
One I really liked in World of Warcraft was where you could, / and create your own emote.
Yeah.
Yeah, /EM or /me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm really hoping we see something like that, or just, I mean, we've already seen some in like APOC, with like the dances and stuff like that. I'm hoping that we get a pretty traditional set of RP features like those. I don't,
That'd be cool.
Another one that's really cool is like, I know in Elder Scrolls Online, for example, they have a system for this, and a lot of other MMOs do too, which is like,
I want tavern dancer posts.
yeah. Well, I guess in WoW it's the toys, right? The toy box.
Yeah.
Oh God, no choo-choo. No choo-choo.
Yeah, and well, I mean, there's that, and then there's like the mementos in the Elder Scrolls Online, which is kind of just that system of like you have some maybe an aura that pops up on you, or like some light that shines down on you, or maybe some cringy eye that pops out and stares at you or whatever. It's much darker take than World of Warcraft stuff does, but just any of those types of things I've always found to be really cool, especially when they're tied into like an achievement system in the game, right? As opposed to like a cash shop item.
Like you're able to get it through questing or like the building reputation and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, and see, whenever I have any downtime in an MMO, that's one of the first things my brain goes to is what mounts am I missing? What emotes? What toys? Oh God, what toys am I missing? Because my bag is always half full of just random toys and little things to hit to make stuff happen, like throwing glitter on people and they get the little star thing shooting down on them and all those. I have my bag half full of them and I never use them. I use them so sparingly because you only get a couple of them or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have to have them.
I like the alcohol debuff that World of Warcraft has, where if you get too drunk, the screen goes blurry and starts moving, and then like if you try to talk, it like puts random like hiccups in there and like just like slurs your words. I like it. I found that highly amusing when I first started playing.
Yeah.
Speaking of slurring words, another thing they covered was that there wasn't going to be a different language for everybody, like all the different races.
Yeah.
I liked that for one reason, pretty much only the fact that there are really, at launch, there's going to be, like 10 different sub-races that could, in theory, have all their own individual language, and that would be a pain in the ass and cost a lot of money to develop a language for all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
And it would make things really tough in a game where they don't have different alliances. They don't have, like, a faction system, so it's not like you can even speak a faction language to understand everybody else.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm curious about is if the Ancients language is going to be completely different, and especially hoping there's going to be some kind of gamification behind that. Like you have to solve puzzles and whatnot to figure out bits of the languages.
Well, there was that one image with the Dwarven, I believe it was.
Yeah, the Dwarven runes.
Wasn't that backwards or something though? Like someone deciphered that, and then it's like random, like, placeholder for something funny later or whatever. I mean,
yeah. Z did it. It was what was I think it just said Intrepid Studios over and over and over, but he had to reverse them and then find all the different runes and piece it all together.
Yeah, but it was so cool, like that it was hidden in there like that.
I bet you he works for the Ashes CIA.
I believe that was Z.
Figuring out little secrets like that.
Yeah, I love things like that aren't so obvious, that you can, those little Easter eggs, I guess, if you want to call them like that.
I love those.
Yeah, I really want to have an in-game way to decipher just random things that are written around that tell you about a secret. Like when we were talking with Steven, he said that unlocking special skills and whatnot that you have to go to unlock, it's not going to reveal itself in your normal character progression. If you were to stumble across just a random, say, broken statue, and you had to piece together, without moving the pieces because they're stuck to the world, but you had to piece together the order that the words were written in and then figure out what it says to find a location where you find that quest, like a tablet that's hidden in a cave somewhere.
Totally off topic, but related is the whole, there's that, I guess it's kind of like a scavenger hunt kind of in World of Warcraft with the mount, where like you have to go to certain locations and then there's this one dungeon that you have to, it's like a maze dungeon and you have to figure out certain things and collect items, and then once you get all the items together you get a mount. It was like this I don't know, I wanted to say it was like a undead unicorn or something. It was when we last started, we're playing World of Warcraft, I forgot, but It was like a black horse-looking mount. and I
Yeah, it
liked
was like a super secret, not really secret, but a super hard to get. Like takes a really long time and a lot of stuff to do it. So you gotta have patience.
I remember seeing guildmates being frustrated in chat, going, "Dang it! I've done this stupid maze like 20 times and I'm lost." And
Yeah.
So
yeah, and what you were saying too about the languages, right? So one you both played SWTOR, right? Star Wars: The Old Republic. I believe you did.
Yeah, I was bananas about that one.
So like back in the day, in the early days, I played on high-end guild. I led there for a short time, up until the Rockwool period or whatever. I think that's the first main patch, right? Yeah, with the it was kind of that whole Resident Evil feel or whatever kind of vibe they had. But I remember doing, I was grinding out all that PvP and just playing. And one of the things I thought was cool was that, the enemies, the Empire, the people the Siths and stuff, they could all speak the same language. And so I remember some of the times when I'd be playing against opponents, you had that. This is one of those really good times of MMORPGs too, where you had respect for your equal in PvP, someone that was really good. They wrecked almost everybody, and you were their one challenge kind of vibe, right? Or vice versa. And the cool thing was, I remember going in some of those matches off to the side and just having chats with them, because it was just all right, we're gonna go over here real quick and chat. What's going on, man? That was really cool earlier, or that last match when you caught me, blah blah blah, and just be having a chat, because you could actually do that in game. And that was one of the things I thought was really cool in there, was the fact that you didn't have the language barrier,
right?
You got in World of Warcraft, the Alliance and the Horde,
yeah.
Right? So you can actually talk and chat, and potentially, in a community, in an MMORPG, right? You could potentially make new friends. And stuff like that.
Yeah, and you figure it gives more player agency to their own devices as well, because when you're Alliance and Horde and WoW, for an example, and you can't talk to the other one, you can't make peace, but it's also harder to make war by accident, by just saying stupid stuff.
Well, yeah, when I was younger, my dad and I tested this thing. Basically, I made a Alliance side character, but we mainly played on Horde, but this guy gave me 1 million gold just to sit on a Alliance character to get him a achievement, because I guess maybe he was bad at PvP. So I just sat there and I let him kill me over and over and over, and they rest me. But we used that time to play with the chat, and I would type in random letters just to see if anything made sense on his side. And so that's how I found out that BRR came out to be LOL on one of the sides. And so it was kind of fun. So I was just, yeah.
It was interesting stuff. But yeah, I hope they do a little bit of gamification around that, finding some old stuff with the old languages.
That being said, I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if you're a scripting crafter or something, you study languages because you make magic scrolls and stuff like that?
That'd be cool.
So it might give you an advantage. Languages. Oh yeah, for the ancient languages. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. What if there was this ancient language, and there was a profession or an artisan class that could actually, or an artisan class that had this as part of its I don't know, sub artisanship or something, where
those enhancement stones.
You got this ancient text or whatever, and it's necessary for legendary, to get a legendary or something along the way, or something like that. Cool. It ties into some part of the narrative, or some big meta story that on the server is kind of being unlocked, and you got to rely on these people or these scholars to help decipher that, and then they become useful.
Could be a high level crafting thing, where the lower levels you learn to kind of decipher it, and the higher levels you learn to write it.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
And, that'd be another great thing to separate some people from others. So, a couple people figured it out, and they're just not releasing the secret. You got to go find it yourself if you want to keep up with these people crafting these whatever enhancement stones or spell scrolls or what have you. Oh man, see, stuff like that just kind of gets me itching, because I love finding secret stuff and just digging around.
Yeah.
I always thought inscription in WoW could have been a much cooler. Especially early on, it was just made for the glyphs, and then they had their profession specific thing, which was it shoulders? I think it was shoulders for this, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Enchant.
so.
Oh yeah, the shoulder enchant.
Or like legs, cloths
Yeah.
like legs too, I think, or something.
Or like gloves of gathering or whatever.
Yeah, they were like,
Yeah.
but to make an artisan class like that then expands and then is like, well, we can also write these scrolls that you can use to decipher things.
That would be cool, yeah.
My face exploded.
What?
Not Gildrace was saying, if you didn't learn how to translate it properly,
you could
misuse it or cause an adverse effect. My face exploded.
Another thing that was interesting that got brought up from your podcast was asking about the mentor system, like building reputation.
I am so hoping that comes with a level sync, because that is the greatest tool I've seen in any game to give bigger players a reason, like an actual reason to go and help lower level players.
Yeah, well, and then the answer for that question, basically, that Steven gave was there will be tracking systems for contributions amongst players. One of the key issues that MMORPGs have is that this start date, where if the players don't join near the start, they're unable to get into it. And one of the reasons for that is because the MMOs have starting area dilemma, where like after release, the starting areas become empty and dead. And in a genre where socializing is a big part of it, it affects it a lot. And this is why for Ashes of Creation, they're going to try to maintain relevancy throughout the life cycle of the MMORPG, as due to the node system, players will keep coming back for quest lines. Mm-hmm. So that kind of gets rid of that whole, like, I'm a newbie, nobody's here, you know. They'll basically be able to see a bustling city instead. But he continues to say, of course, new players will not experience the rush and the race at the start, but instead they'll experience the history of the server, and they're able to define its future, which is really cool, because that's, with World of Warcraft and those other ones, it's already set. You can't change anything really, except for like maybe a PvP match, but you can't really change the outcome of... Although I like how they did it in Legion, where you can work together as a community to put money resources towards like different things, like a mage building or something, and it gave you a different buff. Yeah, the mage tower. I really liked that. That was something kind of towards being able to have the community and the server end up affecting the gameplay.
Yeah, that kind of sucks the soul out of a game later on if it's really hard, because trying to convince people to join World of Warcraft brand new right now is just stupid hard.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, you want me to do what now? How many levels do I have to go through? Oh, geez, you know.
Yeah. What is it now? 115 or 20?
I don't even know.
Something
I stopped paying attention.
Yeah,
it's like 120 now. Isn't that the new cap?
Probably.
I think so, because it was 110 with the last expansion.
But
yeah.
I tried it and I was like, wow, why do I feel like I've done this all before? Literally.
But yeah,
you've done it over.
Yeah, exactly. And then you want to have a new character. Hey, I want to make a warrior. Oh, no, I don't. Actually, I don't want to make a warrior because I don't want to level it for the next 3 months.
Yeah. But similar to Wildstar, he was saying that the mentorship is meant to capitalize on the future and like incentivize players that have already been playing to help the new players, or alt accounts.
Wildstar was amazing with that. You literally just party up with somebody, you right click, say mentor, and bam, you're their level.
Yeah.
That's it. You're their level. Granted, every single piece of item you pick up and the gold you pick up from kills is level appropriate, so it's not jack for a bigger player. But
right.
It's a lot easier to go back and help a friend that way instead of like, yeah, let me make an alt and give me a week to get up to your level and then I'll run with you.
Right.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I kind of enjoyed that, because one of the things that World of Warcraft ended up doing, where if you run in a group in like either a time stone, whatever, a timed instance dungeon, where like the keystones level up.
Yeah. If
you and somebody else are both like cloth wearers, the chances of cloth dropping are a little higher, and then whoever doesn't need that can give it to the person who does need it. Keystone Dungeons, thank you.
Yeah.
It's literally been that long. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, so yeah, but it's just, I think something like that is cool. But that kind of also brings me to the last one that I pulled from your podcast, which is about mobs dropping material. This is going to be kind of a segue. I'm not going to go continue into that, but it could be beneficial where, like, if they drop something, or if an item ends up being dropped, it might be too low for you to use, but it might be the right level for the new person to use. So, like, that might benefit the newbie in that way. But maybe, because I like to do the whole trade things. Like, if I help you, then I want this kind of material in return. And I'm kind of interested in seeing how Ashes does this, because, I mean, you have those annoying obvious quests where, like, go collect like 6 eyeballs from like this beast, and you're like, but if I kill 3 of them, they each have 2 eyes. Shouldn't I just have 6 eyes there?
Why can't I get all the eyes?
Yeah, but like you end up killing 30 of them, and later you finally get your 6 eyes, and you're just like, why did I need to kill so many? But
it's always cracked me up in guild quests, or not guild quests, but group quests, where you have like 5 people in a party. You all get the same quest because this lady only needs 5 to complete this recipe, and we need to collect 25.
Yeah.
I thought you only needed 5. Why are you getting so greedy?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just the eyeball. It could be like anything, like the fur or like the hooves. You know, like I always found it kind of like annoying that like I didn't ruin everything when I killed it. I like to believe as a high level priest I can kill it without destroying stuff.
But yeah, with the I mean, my last thought on the mentor system is that I'm really happy that they're looking into and taking into account that people will try to game the system. They will try to work it around and abuse it. Yeah. It's guaranteed, but they're still wanting to put it in, and they're just going to try and avoid as much abuse as possible.
Yeah,
you're never going to avoid everything because whatever. And to be honest, at the end of the day, it's a game, and if you're going to abuse the mentor system, what are you going to get out of it? A faster leveling alt?
Yeah.
So I'm not terribly concerned about it, but as long as they're looking at bigger ways of abusing, that's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to follow up, not Galdriais, I don't know, sorry.
Not Galdriais, that's how I'm pronouncing it.
Okay. But I mean, that's fair, but I would also ask maybe that they raise the number then to a more like realistic number then, you know.
Yeah, like pick up multiple pieces of the creature or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or like, we need enough to make a blanket, so you need 7 scraps of pelt.
Yeah.
Yeah, pelt fur makes a lot more sense than like, eyeballs, unless you got some shaman cooking up something crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Because at least then they could do like an actual RNG thing with pelt stuff, because if you're slashing at it with a sword or burning it with fire magic, I mean, yeah, I only got a tiny piece from this one because, oops. My axe kind of tore apart the rest. My bad.
Yeah. That's only if you were to down level. I'm just talking about in general, not just downloading for a quest. But fair point. Because that was the way it was, I believe, in WildStar as well.
Final Fantasy, however, did a really good job with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You go down to a certain level for a dungeon, and you can't use abilities that you didn't have at that level. They were just great.
Suddenly you're like you're hitting a button you're used to hitting that has your major heal, and you're not realizing that you're not healing anybody because you can't actually hit it.
Yeah.
I actually really like that system in Final Fantasy, because like if it's an ability that's basically you earn post the level cap for that dungeon, you just don't, it's grayed out, you don't have access to it, so it makes it to where you have to function similarly to, which I mean is, you know, and quite frankly, like it's still just as challenging and taxing from my perspective, because, you know, if you're not paying attention to your cooldowns and things like that, you could get wrecked in a low level dungeon,
especially if you're expecting that one skill to be there and it's not.
Makes you mindful.
But another thing that I like that Ashes is considering is that quest taxations and services, like player-run businesses and selling goods to a shop, redemption of ticket system. I'm not really sure what that is. I haven't followed up on that yet. But basically, those are ways to earn coin in Ashes, because they don't want the monsters to drop the coins. Maybe bandits, but not like wolves or bunnies, which makes sense. Like, why would they have coin on them in the first place? That's one thing that I was a little confused with World of Warcraft as a kid.
Like you're
I'm
dropping
like,
copper, okay.
yeah. I'm like, oh, I got copper.
Eating people, Bunny?
Right?
Exactly. By the way, Sam, thank you for bringing that up. Because that was actually one of my favorite questions of the week of all the casts was that monetary gain from creatures.
Yeah. But instead they're gonna have particular monsters drop items that are marked, like a ticket for wolf claws or bunny tails. Poor bunnies. Droppable, so if you die, you drop them, I guess, and you can turn those into your local node at the Hunter's Lodge. It's kind of cool. I like the Hunter's Lodge thing. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. A lot. I really like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I was a really, really big fan of listening to that part because I mean, like he was also saying.
I know, not the bunnies.
Like in the different areas, there may not be that type of creature, so the merchants in other areas or the hunting lodge in other areas may pay more of a high premium for that item.
Right, and then you have to figure out, is it worth for you running all the way across the map and potentially being ganked by somebody just to get higher price ashes, whatever ashes currency is. But yeah, it's also kind of cool because they say you can hold on to these like materials or tickets and turn them in, like you said, farther away node for more money, or for a longer time and sell them when the price goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that's similar to Amazon's New World Talisman. I've not played that one yet, so...
New World?
Yeah.
Or like New World? Yeah, New World, MMORPG they're working on.
Yeah, the Talisman system or something.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, props on you guys for bringing that up and getting that kind of answer out of him.
Yeah.
Because I heard him talking about it.
Yeah, that one's actually from, if I'm not mistaken, I believe
cool.
that was from TL. Yeah, she asked that one.
Nice. They're great questions. I love these.
Yeah, the community had some really good questions. It was really impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, to jump into and do a little bit of a quicker version on some of the other people's stuff, because I mean we're covering yours a little bit more because well you're our guest on here and it was your content. The other guys, we really want our viewers to go and check out their streams, so maybe we won't read the entire answer that was given by Steven.
Yeah.
But we'll just go ahead and just cover at least like one of my other favorite ones actually came from DCN, the From the Ashes podcast they have, and that was the players can choose to track or learn information in the library, which I thought was one of the niftiest ideas when we read the blog for the library. Like you can go in there and there's going to be basically a book that tells you, hey, this thing is out there in the wild. There's a new point of interest. There's a new monster out there.
Yeah.
And
I also like the whole library card thing. I think that's so silly.
You essentially have to get a library card first.
Yeah. Like, in order to go, and it's through a quest line, too. So I can only imagine what that quest line is like. Walks into a building. I'd like to look at these. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have a library
you don't
card.
have a library card.
How do I get one of those?
Well, you go out and you collect 5 eyeballs. Not this one again.
You're like, come on, man.
But yeah, I really like that feature. Like if you end up going out in the wild and you find something first, like it's not in the library, you didn't read about it, but you just wanted to explore and you find it first, you can kind of keep it under your belt just for a little bit and try to beat it or try to solve it or try to do whatever, get a guild together to try to conquer whatever the new thing is or the new monster. And
the curious thing I want to know is this cross server, is this server specific? If we find it on our server, is there a chance that it might be something available exactly like that on another server?
Ooh, so
like how much that's going to transfer over. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be server specific, but then, I mean, there's going to be some, like as much as they want the servers to be different, if things get unlocked in a certain way, similarly, you're going to have certain things that are similar, like you're going to have placement of buildings or NPCs or potentially quest lines, etc. So, I mean, yeah, so how much is that going to give another server an edge?
Yeah, so here's where my mind is on that. So for one, they're going to be doing, and I don't think anybody really truly realizes, well, I mean, I don't want to say anybody, it's a bit extreme, but I don't think many people who are keeping up with this content really realize how much work they're going to be putting into all this stuff. Because let's say you just take 10 nodes, 10 nodes, right? And they were saying that depending on how a singular node develops and what you choose to develop on that node, it's going to impact different things. Like one of the examples was if you build a metropolis and then you end up mining into this mountain nearby too much, you're going to upset this dragon that's going to come down and try to tear up the town. Now
that I can't wait for that. I just, every time I hear something like that, I get all excited. I'm like, ooh.
You see, there's 3 variables there that they have to hit just right in order to do that. For one, you have to build up a town big enough to where maybe it triggers the dragon's not going to come down and eat a stage 1 node, because that would just happen in about 10 minutes and it would be done and over with. You wouldn't have a chance to fight back. So it probably wouldn't trigger until it's at least like what, stage 4 or 5, 6 even. And then you have to be mining nearby, so people have to be actively doing it.
Sorry, our cat is meowing.
I heard that. I know what a cat sounds like.
And then 3, you have to mine enough to make a difference to piss off the dragon.
Yeah.
So within a 10 node span, like it might happen on one server but not another, because they wouldn't hit that exact same. Come here, girl. Come here.
Pick that cat up. Give it some FaceTime.
Right.
What I mean. Let it. Give it some loving.
But then if we're looking at, say, like...
They heard it so clearly, they thought it was their own cats. Yeah, no, this is like really, really cool.
But like on a server with 103 different nodes, and then you have to have, say, 2 nodes or 3 nodes next to each other that have the exact same circumstances to make something appear and happen. I don't think it's going to be very likely unless another server says, oh, that was a cool event, we need to recreate that, destroy this metropolis, let's move.
Sorry, I'm trying not to like giggle too much over here.
Whisper. Dogger that doesn't know what to do with himself. There's a cat somewhere.
Yeah, Paradox says like his 4 cats are staring at the speakers trying to figure out where the other cat is. But a few things I want to touch up on really, really quickly. It was announced that the Node 3 is they'd prefer to release it closer to Alpha 1 and Nodes 4 closer to Beta, because there's a lot of information that they want included on that, and they want to make sure it's full of the information that they're wanting. You know, like he said that they could release it already, but then it wouldn't have all the information that he's really wanting to show it. It wouldn't be representative of what he's wanting. And previously with DCN, we chatted about, I believe it was with DCN, airships being instanced or not. And he said that they're going to be real time, so you'll be able to get onto a ship and then just kind of be able to see from like a bird's eye view of like Vera and what is out there.
Yeah, and that I like, because honestly the airships not being instanced and taking their time traveling across from one scientific node to the other, again assuming that there are 2. Hey, the kitty. Then that's going to give the people who aren't, say, a mayor of a city or the leader of a guild that took over a castle, who have a flying mount, that's going to give them a chance to actually see things from the bird's eye view. They can take their nifty screenshots of the landscape, and it'll be kind of a neat opportunity for everyone else to experience flying to a degree.
Yeah.
And the Nodes 3 thing, that makes total sense. Like waiting until there's more content and more recent content to drop it.
I can't wait for Alpha 1 though.
Yeah, right?
I'm just like, when does Alpha 1? I mean, I really miss playing Ashes, even though I really hate the BR. Like I said, I'm only in it for the cosmetics, honestly. So I miss being able to explore in the world and being able to see if I can hopefully survive a game and unlock new cosmetics.
Yeah, I'm in it for the cosmetics. I mean, I'm terrible at BR, so I'm not in it for the win.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to have many.
That's why I said hopefully survive.
But, yeah, sorry, were you about to say something, Sim?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've pretty much played that thing, you know, until my face was in the dirt. And,
oh, that happened to me every single game.
You know, cap level, got everything you can unlock and everything, and you know, the skill level to play that effectively really isn't very high in comparison to a lot of other battle royale games, but.
I feel even worse now because I still I died within like the first few minutes normally.
Oh, that was always the thing I hated. Like you sit in queue for 10 minutes and then I jump in, and as soon as I exit a building, there's somebody there with an axe that they just found that's like a legendary, and they chop my face in half.
Yeah, like
Such is the life of BR, though.
I felt tired of it, but you know, it's kind of one of those situations where
at least I was able to play. Dang it.
You don't know what you got until you're missing it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know? Now it's gone. I'm going. You know, it'd be nice if I could play that sometimes. Like, I'm not even just for the BR, but just for it's a snapshot of Ashes, and it was a fun time.
Yeah.
So.
Still trying to find that sandal, man. You did confirm there is a sandal
right?
somewhere out there.
Now I want to just go back in just to try to like find the sandal. Although like I tried to find places to run around where there is nobody else, just so I can like search that specific area.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually like ended up hitting somebody or the red wall.
There's a lot of people that have looked. I mean, I had people like coming on my stream that were like, there were several people who were going through and literally looking for it, you know?
Nice.
Like just spending matches literally running around trying to look at all the boxes, all the barrels, like crates, everything they could find, furniture.
Yeah.
Going through, it's such a big map though, but you know, Steven's like, it's there, and I'm going...
Well, where? Watch. It's going to be some smart-ass leak down the line, and it's going to end up being like there's a statue somewhere with a single sandal on their 1 foot or something.
So, for those of you who are joining us, if you don't really understand the whole joke behind the sandal, Steven likes to wear sandals, and he lost his sandal on a trip at some point, and he couldn't find them. And so the whole running joke is that somewhere in Ashes of Creation, not just in the lobby, but in the APOC Battle Royale, and I think somewhere in the actual MMORPG, there's a sandal, and when you find it, it grants you a boon.
A major boon or benefit.
Yeah, a boon or benefit.
It's the only quote he's given so far.
So.
Really curious what that is, what it's going to be.
Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and move us on to the fan art section of our stream and the community-based area. I actually was going through Ash's post because after watching all the videos that Steven was a part of, there's still so much that you can take in just listening. So I had to go back through and rewatch, and they're nice enough to be able to make transcripts. So if you guys are interested in that, the Ashes post has transcripts of all of the live streams and the streams that Steven was a part of.
They do a really good job. Like, they get stuff up really quick right after live streams.
Yeah, and while I was looking for transcripts, I came back across Sinako's post that they gave in the Halloween competition, and I loved this because I like elves, and this is just a really good representation to me, and I don't know. I appreciated this art.
It looks really good. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked a lot of the entries.
Yeah.
The bow's on fire.
It is. How is her clothing's not catching on fire?
Because magic. Right? Because magic.
She's an elf. It's mystically Empyrean elves, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah,
it's a lukewarm fire. Don't worry.
Maybe it's magical. So it's like an ability, but like it doesn't harm actual like your own like it identifies that you are its owner, basically. It's like, I will not burn you. But I might burn the person that you shoot. Yeah, she's also she's kind of wearing gloves. They're like partial gloves. Yeah. But then also I'd like to call attention to there is somebody in our community.
They burned off maybe.
Yeah.
The Jemmy-chan, who is, now that the forums are officially up, and by the way, once this goes on YouTube, the forum will be posted for this podcast as well. But I really enjoyed just, I don't know, it gave me a Gaia feeling. A Gaia Online. I don't know if anybody has played that one or is aware of it, but I kind of liked it. But they have this really, really cute, let me bring it bigger actually.
Like a little forum sig creator.
Yeah, a little forum signature creation, and ours was created by our guildmate, but I still have like a soft spot for, I don't know, cute guild signatures. I love, like, I think my favorite part about forums is seeing everybody's signature, and like this one was just really, really cute. But yeah, so Jemmy-chan has a shop open where she can make you a signature. And
which, now that the forums are back,
Yeah.
Gotta get on there, say hi to everybody, see what they're all about. There's a lot of good conversations on there.
Signature yet? I need to. I feel like such a slow poke.
Oh, maybe Jimmy Chan can make you a really epic like Pathfinder. Like
that would be cool.
That would be really cool. Maybe like with some like I want to call it not light fury, but fury the light, like judgment, kind of like maybe
Forge the path.
Thorish.
Yeah, bring the hammer down. Forge the path.
With like lightning sparks coming off to the side.
Do it. But yeah, shout out to our guildie Necro. Made a lot of SIGs for a lot of the guild and super fast.
Yeah.
Right on.
I would also personally, like, while we're doing the community thing, I want to give some shout outs to the people. Again, like a lot of the stuff we've talked about today did come from not only our own podcast last week with Steven, but also from others. Like DCN put together, they do the From the Ashes. They had some really good pointed questions in there. And we only talked about maybe 2 topics they did, but they had an hour of just driving constant questions at him.
Which,
by the way, Simurgh, I always get it mixed up, man. From the horse's mouth, how's it pronounced?
That's a great question because everybody seems to not get it right. It's Simurgh. So it's Simurgh. Yeah.
Okay. So Simurgh. And Simurgh, you're killing people. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So now I won't get it wrong ever.
There's a YouTube video. If you just type in Simurgh pronunciation on YouTube, there's like a little thing there for anyone who's really interested in saying it right. There you go, man. Go ham. Give them some views, whoever that is.
There you are. But yeah, Simurgh and Daedalus, they do the Ashes Pathfinders, which someone's already talked about. But we did pull a couple of questions from there that we really liked and wanted to discuss. Jalen, he does his own little podcast. He did a really great one. His was like a machine gun. It was just, he didn't give Steven a chance to breathe. He was like, question, answer, okay, cool, question, answer, okay, cool, question, answer, oh, I like that. That's pretty cool, question, answer. Like, it was just bananas. He fit so many questions in an hour. It was insane.
But awesome because we got answers.
Oh, absolutely. And then after the fact, there were some people that did some really nice coverage of it, like the Ashen Forge, which is Phantom X and Diggs and Legendary Neurotoxin. They talked about everybody's content and kind of went over their favorite parts. They had a neat discussion.
Yeah.
Sunfrog, also a smaller streamer. He's just putting together little videos, but he was like super polite. He wanted to cover everybody's videos. He did like his favorite question from everybody's, but didn't really talk too much about it. He was kind of timid. He didn't want to, as he said, steal content, which I can have a real respect for that. He didn't want to.
I can respect that. Yeah, he's being respectful. That's really cool.
Yeah, that was really nice. Makinoji kind of did the same thing, covered his favorite bits, and also about some Discord toxicity, which unfortunately every community has, and just guys, be nice. You don't have to be a jerk.
Hashtag Virtek Dad.
Yeah.
Well,
Dad,
we see that
Dad Tech.
Go.
Hashtag Dad Tech.
No, come on, man. Don't chop your head like that. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on. Let's leave it you had. Let's go.
Yeah, like the randomness is great. It's just when some people just go rawr.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he put out a good, thoughtful video on that. But yeah, people putting out some good content. There's a lot of smaller people popping up and dropping random little things. So it's good stuff, guys. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
And as always, if you know somebody else who is in our community, the Ashes Creation community, who either makes things or makes videos or talks about things, writes things, please direct them to us because we love covering this kind of stuff. And also, we love hearing other people's thoughts, and I really enjoyed having you on, Simurgh.
I'm telling you, I'm never. Now that I have that image in my head, I'm never going to mispronounce it ever again.
Well, I mean, the only image I've got in my head is a Virtek dab that I have yet to see. So I'm just I'm just letting my mind kind of create what that might look like, and all I've got so far is the image of watching this and your head dropping like shamefully you don't want to do it. And I'm going, why don't you want to do it? It can't be that bad. Chibi, can you just like send me a clip of this later or something? Everyone know.
Of a Virtek dad? Or are you saying dab?
Yeah, dab.
Oh, dab. He wants you to dab.
It's gonna stay hidden forever. That'll be a special podcast centered around
Come on, man. Come on. I feel like the community wants it in chat.
There you go.
Someone's got to do it. Let's go.
There you go.
I'm waiting.
Catch it quick.
Nice. Someone please gift that for me.
Oh gosh.
Fantastic.
Give it.
It's Simurgh. Hashtag
Will last
001.
forever.
Yeah.
The internet never dies.
There we
Yeah.
go. But yeah, when is your next podcast?
Every Monday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on DLive. Just saying, it's how I
All
say it.
right. So for those of you on YouTube or listening to our audio later, also before we leave, we officially have our iTunes up again because we had to get approved since we changed our podcast name from the previous podcast. So they literally right before going live, I got an email saying, congratulations, your iTunes podcast has been approved. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, on Podbean, or on YouTube, go check out Simurgh's. His is later tonight. I'll have this up by noon on Monday. And we stream every Friday at 5 p.m. PST. And this coming Tuesday, April 30th at 11 a.m. PST is the next live stream for Ashes of Creation. So if you're interested in that, go check that out.
Oh, and hey, Diggs, I didn't even see you in there though.
Yeah. Hey, Dick.
How's it going? But yeah, also if you guys have any questions for devs and whatnot, please feel free to drop by our Discord, which is right there. Post them up. We will when we do go to interview a dev again, we will be bringing those questions specifically to ask first and gathering from other community areas next. And if we are on a live stream and you are not, to watch them have a Q&A, we'll be putting your questions up first, before ours even, probably in most cases. And so we really want to get your questions asked, so please let us know what they are and we will find out in one way or another.
So other than that, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you, Simurgh, for joining us today. And I'm excited to see what is coming.
Yeah. Thank everybody for stopping by. Thank everybody for being here. We do this because we love it and we love talking about this stuff, but you are the cherry on top, making it even more worthwhile.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time. And thank you so much for the follows and the support.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.